Scott, it's great to have you back on InvestorStream and to see Pure Hydrogen reporting some solid progress. Now, I'm keen to tease out some detail on a recent announcement you made where your majority-owned HDrive International received a purchase order for hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles from a North American dealership, Californian-based Nutcher Hydrogen, for a prime mover and a 54-seater bus. To start, can you just tell us a little bit more about this push into the US market and what's your rationale here?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Well, the US market is a very interesting one for pure hydrogen. The US government is spending circa about $40 billion US dollars on hydrogen. Obviously, $7 billion of that is going into hubs. They're also providing subsidies, both a state and federal government, for up to 50% of the truck or bus. So that makes it very interesting and very attractive. And that's why we got some initial orders out of the US, but we think that's certainly only scratching the surface. And it's a huge market and we're keen to get after it.
Okay, Scott, so what's the size of the commercial vehicle market in North America for hydrogen-powered vehicles? And is the infrastructure more established than Australia?
The US truck market is the largest in the world, and they require, on average, about 540,000 trucks per year. And the bus market is also extremely large as well. And with the state and federal governments providing a lot of incentives, very attractive proposition to move away from diesel trucks and buses into either hydrogen or battery electric. The infrastructure is certainly coming along quite well and certainly more advanced than Australia because of the push both state and federal governments over there. They've put a lot of money into it and it's showing, and we're keen to be part of the landscape and be a player in that market.
Okay, so what's a useful comparison to HDrive in the US market, and how do you see yourself carving out a competitive advantage?
Well, firstly, we've got very competitive hydrogen fuel cell trucks and buses, and there's not many competitors at the moment. There's a few that have announced plans to come into the market, but they're not ready to sell vehicles. So we've got an extremely attractive proposition that is ready to go to market. With those subsidies that are available, it becomes quite a compelling proposition. Now, if we compare ourselves to, say, a battery electric vehicle, both Nikola and Tesla have got vehicles that are similar to the one behind me, our Taurus vehicle. We have a number of favourable advantages over those battery electric. Firstly, the refuelling time on a hydrogen fuel cell truck versus a battery electric is very comparable to diesel. It's about 15 minutes to refuel a truck of this size. Secondly, the truck weight's about 1.3 tonnes lighter than the equivalent battery electric vehicle. And that's huge in terms of an operator. Basically what it means is you've got 1.3 tonnes of payload that you can then sell to your customer. And so for an operator, that's extremely attractive. And then finally, the problem with batteries is after about 7 or 8 years, you're going to have to replace the battery. And that's a very expensive proposition when you've got so many batteries on a big vehicle like this. So we see hydrogen as well placed, particularly in the heavy duty truck and bus market. And that's where I think hydrogen wins.
And finally, Scott, do you expect more orders from Nutcher? And are you talking to more distributors in the US?
Yeah, so Nutcher hoping that these initial orders will lead to further orders. They're keen to demonstrate them at a number of shows, truck and bus shows in the US, and they're convinced that they will see a lot of orders and a lot of interest out of them. There are other parties in the US that are looking for zero-emission trucks and buses, and the market is right for us to enter the market. So we're certainly entertaining a lot of discussions at the moment. Hopefully that will lead to something in due course.
Fantastic, Scott. Look, really appreciate you joining me and all the best for 2024.
Great. Thanks, Alex. Cheers.